In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about doing a property refurb. Hi, my name's David Siegler and I am a property investor. I'm also a trainer at Progressive Property, the leading property training company in the United Kingdom. I have been in property over 30 years. I've built a portfolio, I've sold deals, I've done refurbishments. There ain't nothing that I haven't tried over my time in property. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what you need to know about getting started when you're doing a refurb. Don't forget, make sure you subscribe and like. So this house formerly was a family home. It's a 3-story family home. What we are doing is we are converting it to a 6-bed house of multiple occupation, an HMO. Each bedroom is going to have its own ensuite facility. So over here we have what's going to be the communal living space. This is going to be a lounge, it's going to be TV, sofas. This is going to be really comfortable place for the tenants to spend time. As I move through, follow me guys. Immediately you can see we've had to alter the drainage. We have to make sure that's all in place. Building control from the local authority will come in and sign off everything that we do. You'll see here some framework. So we are reconfiguring the original house, and on the wall over there, again, you can see first fixes for plumbing. There's also going to be first fixes for electric as we move round. We're going to have the kitchen in this area here, some storage there. And then there's going to be 2 ensuite bathrooms here, backing on to 2 bedrooms that are going to be the other side of this wall. So we're putting an extension on the ground floor of the building under permitted development. The relaxation of planning laws that have been recently updated allows us, with no planning permission, to go into the back garden here and put 2 bedrooms onto what is currently a patio out there. When you get a room backing on a room, or in this case a room backing on a staircase, which is a means of escape, that you get a minimum 30 to 60 minutes fireproofing in case residents have to leave in a hurry. The pink boarding is the highest specification for fire protection in a building like this. So make sure in the relevant areas that your tradesmen use the pink boards. So you can see here along the way, we have taken the property back to brick. What that means is we've pulled everything off the original walls, something you wouldn't normally see the original walls. It might be plastered, it might be timber framed and then boarded, but here you can see the original wall of the property. Why have we done that? Because we're going to finish this property to such a high specification that we don't want to include the old plasters, the old fixtures, the old fittings. We're already ripping out all the electrics and the plumbing and redoing it, so that we know that when this is reboarded and replastered, everything in this building is brand new. It will limit the amount of repairs and refurbs that the new investor is going to have to spend over 5, 6, 7 years. There should be minimal amount of repairs on this building because it's going to be as good as new. So let's go upstairs. Let me show you what we're doing up here. We're in the bedroom area. There's 2 bedrooms on this level and 2 bedrooms above. So this will be 1 tenant's room. See, with things have moved on a little bit more up here. The rooms have to be a minimum size of 10 meters square. That's the sleeping and living accommodation. It doesn't include the ensuite bathroom that I'm going to show you in a minute. You can see we've replaced the windows. These are for easy access and means of escape. If a tenant has to get out in a hurry, that's how they open, so that a tenant can escape through the window in the event of emergency. It's very important that you include those windows in your specification. Come around this way and I can show you the ensuite. Now it's not complete at this point. Let's see if you can see what I can see. So you can see the tiles, Metro tiles we've used. We use a uniform finish for every bathroom here. The investor particularly wanted to include baths in the ensuites here. So that's quite unusual. Normally you'd have a walk-in shower. In this particular one, building, you've got showers and a bathroom. Really nice fittings. There's a stainless steel towel rail, heated towel rail here. Let me just show you one of the other bedrooms that we have here. So these are really heavy doors. These are fire doors. Here's a tip that I've learned over a period of time. When you're planning out the room, what you should do is just put a plan of each room on the wall before it's painted, okay? And what you need to do is show on there for your tradesmen where the bed's going to go and where you think the furniture's going to go in the bedroom area. Why would you do that? Because you're going to want power points and light switches in the right appropriate areas. So for instance, I would always include a power point on either side of a double bed. Okay, so mark them on the plan so that the electrician is in no doubt where you want the power points fitted, because you know there's a bed going in between them, but he won't know that. So that's a really, really important tip. Otherwise, when you come to live in the room and the power points are in the wrong place, you know, it can be a little bit irritating for the tenant. We want happy tenants here, team. We want happy tenants. So obviously this is a major refurbishment that we've taken on here. We've completely reconfigured this property. But why would we do something like this? Let me talk to you about the numbers. It was all about the numbers and the value that we add. Purchased this property for around £140,000. At that time it was a buy-to-let investment property and the rental was £775 per calendar month. Doing the work that we've done, and of course there is a cost to the refurbishment, but it adds a huge amount of value, we have managed to raise the rent roll from £775 a month to £2,600 a month. Significant increase. So people say to me, David, why? Why should I move from single let to houses of multiple occupation, HMOs? As I learn my craft, as I learn to be a property investor, why would I want to get involved in HMOs? Because you're looking at raising rent roll typically from £775 a month to £2,600 a month. Going to make a massive difference to the cash flow in your investment portfolio, and that's just from one house. Let's say a few words about buying, refurbishing and refinancing. That is basically what we're doing here. Now this is a big project, but you can do it on any project. If you're adding value to a single let, buy to let, you can still go through the same process. So let's deep dive a little bit into the numbers on this particular project. All in, the investor is investing £200,000 in this property to produce a finished 6-bed, all-ensuite HMO in Peterborough. Our expectation is that that will raise the value of the property to something over £300,000. The investor will have achieved an uplift in value of £100,000 just by doing this refurb. But there's more than that, because he's moved the rent roll on from £775 per calendar month as a single let to £2,600 a month as a 6-bed all-ensuite HMO. So that is the power of the buy, refurbish, refinance model. Whatever you do, you should always try and integrate an element of refurbishing and refinancing, adding value to your projects, even if it's your very first single let, buy to let. See if we can add some value. So when you are buying your first investment property and you feel that there might be some element of refurbishment involved, how do you make sure that you get your numbers right and that you produce a really highly finished job at the end of the day? This is what I would do. If you're doing it for the very first time without experience, you have to find somebody who knows their numbers. And the best thing you can do is find 3 people who you think will know their numbers. So where do you find tradesmen, builders who will find the time to come and have a look at your property, give you a quote, let you know what works need to be done. Personally, I would go to something like Checker Trade, those sort of online resources. Here is how I would find my tradesman. Find someone who's got the skills that you need. If you're looking for a plumber, right, I would go and look for a plumber who's got over 100 reviews. Vast majority of the feedback you get are 5-star reviews. If he's got over 100 reviews and then most of them are 5-star, then you know he knows his stuff. This is something I did recently in my world. I found a great plumber. You can do it too. So better off, I think, to source an overall builder who can come and have a look and has got access to all the trades. So you go through the same process for that. So things you've got to look out for. If I was going to source a buy-to-let property that needed a refurbishment, this is what I would check. Is there any damp in the property? You need to have a look, and a damp-proof company needs to come and check it out. If you believe there's a bit of damp, the damp might show up on the bank surveyor's report. He or she might alert you to it. Will it need a coat of paint throughout? Will it need new flooring throughout? What's the heating system like? What is the boiler like? Maybe we need to bring somebody in who can tell you whether there's still life in the boiler. It might be a relatively new boiler, but if it's old and chugging away, maybe now is the time to make the change to upgrade to a new modern boiler while you're doing all the work in the property. Electrics. You've got to make sure they're safe now. You need an electrical certificate for every new letting today. So get an electrician in, do an electrical report. He might have to upgrade the consumer unit or make some other changes in various circuits around the property. Get an electrician in, tell you what that's going to cost. What about the kitchen? What does that look like? Do you want to rip out the kitchen and put a new kitchen in? If you're working with local tradesmen, a local builder, he'll be able to do this really cost effectively. Now, you're going to put in a kitchen that is for a lettings property. This might not be the kitchen that you would choose for your own home. For your own home, you can spend tens of thousands of pounds on a kitchen. For a rental property, that's all the cupboards, the worktops, white goods, built-in oven, hob, hood, everything you need for a kitchen. You could probably source something like that for 1,500 to 2 grand, get it fitted by your tradesman. What about the bathroom? What's the condition of the bathroom? Is it burgundy or avocado from the 1970s? That's going to have to come out, team. People today, young families today, they need a bath with a shower over. If it's going to be a family home, make sure you have a bath, because kiddies need to have a bath. If you're doing like a loft conversion in the middle of a city for young professionals, maybe a walk-in shower, walk-in wet room might be more appropriate. So think about who the end user is going to be in your property and make sure you cater for them. If it's going to be a family home and you're looking at one of those properties where you open the front door and you go straight into the living room, there are modern ones of those being built as well as Victorian terraces. Where are the kids going to put their muddy boots and coats? You need to think about that. Maybe we need a porch added or something like that where they can take off their muddy boots. It might well be that you only have to change the windows and doors on one side of the house. Maybe the prevailing weather might cause a lot more damage at the front of the house than the back of the house. Then possibly you might get away with 2 big windows and a new front door. That can cost, depending where you are in the country, £500–600 for a door, another £500–600 for those windows. That's the sort of cost you're getting into. So this refurb is a really expensive refurb. We budgeted for this refurb up front before we actually sort of got the builders in and got started. The reason why it's justified doing a big refurb like this is we are adding so much value to the value of the property for the investors. This refurb will cost tens of thousands of pounds. Maybe you'll be fortunate and find a property that's been generally well maintained and it just needs a bit of love, bit of TLC, a lick of paint and some flooring to bring it back to its former glory. So you don't have to spend tens of thousands of pounds on a refurb. For a few £1,000s, turn an unloved, neglected property into a really shiny, clean home for your tenants and somewhere where they would want to live. I hope you've enjoyed the tour of this property and the breakdown of the refurb. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe and like. I'll see you next time.